All right, let's take a minute to go over what you're going to be doing for your assignments this week. You see, you've got two things in here: Quiz 1, chapters 1 and 2, and then this other one here, the basic news story, exercise 1. Let's take a look at both. To get to the quizzes, you can do this in a few different ways. Obviously, the easy way, because you're here right now, is you can just click on this link right here that says quiz and take you there. You can also, though, get to it at any point by going to assignments, and then you'll see in the quizzes folder quizzes, and you can get to it in that way. Their third way here, you could always go to due dates. I do like this way too because you can see always when any of your assignments are due in this class, so that's very helpful to you. And taking a look here, let me get into February here. Taking a look here, you see both the assignments due here on this day, and you can just click on it. Mine says edit. Yours will say something like go to assignment or go to test or whatever it is, and you can just click on it and go to it from there as well. So you have three different ways of always getting to any of your assignments in this class. But getting back here on track here, let me go back to where we were here in the assignments folder. If we click on it right from here, you see that before you begin your quiz here, it gives you what the instructions are. They're going to be the same every week except for one of them. But besides the one that's in the middle of the semester, these are all going to be formatted the same way. You have 20 minutes to take it. It will automatically save your quiz and submit it after 20 minutes. So it gives you a timer as you go through it, but your time will expire and you'll have to turn that in. And once you start it, it has to be completed in that sitting, right? You can't save it and then submit it later. So when you're going to take this, make sure that you are ready to commit your 20 minutes because that is your one shot for it. It's due Friday the 6th at 11:59 p.m. After that, it's a 0, right? So you've got to do it before then. I also say this about the tests, and then I'm going to show you in a minute. They're really quizzes. I know this is labeled as a test because that's what Blackboard has it, but it's the quizzes. I will say this also about the quiz here is that if something goes wrong, I'm trying to parse my words here, right? Because I don't want you to take advantage of this. But if something goes wrong in the middle and it freezes, or you can tell there's some problem, take a screenshot if you can, or copy and paste the text that you have and put it in a Word document, and then email me and let me know that there's a problem. Very rare. It's very rare that this happens. Every once in a while, though, there is that issue. I can always clear it out for you and have you retake it. But if it happens a second time or a third time, then we have to figure out a different solution because then it might be your browser, it might be some other issue because it should not be happening over and over again. And that obviously isn't fair for the integrity of class that you keep getting a star to take a quiz and then stop it in the middle. So with that said, what I'm saying is if this happens at some point where something freezes or it didn't submit, yes, I can always refresh it. Let me know what the problem was. We'll refresh it and have you take it again. Or you can show me already the answers that you had. Sometimes I've had students do that. They just took screenshots and they showed me the answers and I can just manually grade it. If it happens a second time, then we have to, of course, talk because there's some issue and we can go from there. Otherwise, though, once you take the test, that's your shot. You get the quiz test, but once you take it, that's your shot. You got 20 minutes to do it and you're done. All right, let's start it here just so you get an idea. You're going to see here short answer question, some fill in the blank, some checks, true and false. You've got each one worth 10 points here, and will total up to 100. And when you're done, you will save and submit. And I'll leave here. What will happen is after you submit it, some of them you'll get answers right away. You'll get a grade right away. So the true false ones, it's automatically coded in there, so you'll see that you got the points for those. For the ones that you have to do short answers for, it won't give you a grade because I have to go through and manually read them and submit a grade and feedback. So you won't have your immediate grade right away with these quizzes, but you will see the ones that at least you got right or wrong as far as true false, or if you have to check a box. I also, just so you know, I do go through all of them anyways, even the ones that are true false, or I have to check a box, or sometimes it's pick the which ones are correct and which ones incorrect, whatever it is. I go through and I will look at them. So if something seems off, like sometimes it's fill in the blank, and if you did a fill in the blank and you forgot a letter or something, it will say that it was wrong, but I know exactly what you mean. then yes, I will go back and correct those two. So I do get one last look through it all before you submit your final grade, but you will get your grades within a week. I go through these within a week and submit them, and then it will notify you on Blackboard that I graded it. You'll be able to go back, see feedback, take a look at what you got wrong, and go from there. I said this in the last week's video, but I'll say it again here. These are also a great a guide for you when you actually do your writing assignments. So part of this quiz is, yes, for some accountability, that I make sure that you are, taking the lessons from the chapter that you need. But it is also, I understand this is also open book. So you could a little bit more looser than you should be if it was, not open book, really absorbing the material. But my hope is that this quiz here acts as like a study guide. What I'm putting on here are key concepts that you need to know. So when we do the writing assignments, you're applying them to your actual, assignments. You're applying it to the stories that you go out and write. So that's my other way of saying, like, don't take this too lightly. Don't just try to get by here, because if you are really understanding these lessons, and if you get something wrong in the quiz, you make sure that you go back and read that part of the chapter and understand why. That's only going to make it easier and better for you and get you a higher grade when you're actually doing your writing assignments. And then that's where the big points are, and you'll be well equipped, because these quizzes are kind of like practice getting you ready for those writing assignments. You'll have the notes, you'll feel well equipped, you'll know what in the chapters you should be focusing on to applying to your stories, and you will be in better shape than the student who's just kind of skimming through and just trying to find answers in the moment. All right, so that's the quizzes. Let's also go to what you're also going to be doing this week, which is the other exercise here. And that is that's the exercise, the basic news story exercise here. And if I click on this, you'll see this is right from your book. So do exercise 1 on page 41 in your textbook. So I'm not going to go through this right now. The instructions are all in the textbook on page 41 for you. Just so you know, because this happens sometimes to students, the information you need to do to write the story is on page 42. So while the instructions, what this is saying is, while the instructions are on page 41, this bleeds over into page 42, and what you need to do to complete the assignment you'll find on page 42. Just want to make sure that that's obvious, or that's clear, because every once in a while I get a student who just missed that part and then struggles with this because they didn't know that what they were really looking for was on page 42. Submit your work on a Word document or something similar. Do not put it directly on Blackboard. When you submit this directly on Blackboard, it doesn't format it for me, and then especially not well in this assignment, this particular assignment too. Formatting is part of it, and in later assignments it's even more crucial. So if it's just coming as a block of text here, I can't grade on format, and that would make you lose points. So that is my long way of saying, do it on a Word document. If you do it on a Google Doc, make sure that you give it public access so I can see it, right? That's available, that I can read it. But find something else, some program that you can work on, that you can submit this through, and not do your work directly on Blackboard. Attach the file when you submit this. It's worth 100 points here, and it's due again on February 6th, 11:59 p.m. Taking a look again at the due dates here, you always find when something is due right here, and I see they're both due the same day, 11:59 p.m. Of course, you could wait an extra week to get this done, but new work is coming in next week. So thinking of time management, I want you to be able to balance it. You don't want to get everything, too much overlap. So I would try to, even though you do have the time, try to get this done for the week so that it's all set to go, and you can then focus on the new work that's coming in the week after. Late work is not accepted. I know I've said it in the syllabus. It is a 0 though. If you miss the deadline even by 2 hours, it's a 0. So I just want to make it very clear. I know it's in the syllabus, and now I'm verbally saying it. It's got to be in before this time, or it will be a 0 if it's late on Blackboard. If there's a problem, like again, this is right from the syllabus from last week's video, but if there is a problem, please let me know in advance. Email me, hey, Professor Chiara, X, Y, and Z is happening. Is there any way that I can get some extension? Offer me a date, if you can. That's usually very helpful to me. And I say, most likely I'll be like, sure, we can work around that. Of course, if you're taking advantage of it and doing it every week, that's not going to fly, but I know things come up here and there. And if you're proactive with me, we can usually find a resolution, right? But if you just miss a date, you miss the due date, you get the 0, move on to the next one. All right, any questions on the assignments, please let me know, especially if it's something specific to the chapter, you don't understand the instructions. I'd be happy to try to clear it up through email, or we could always meet through a video call But otherwise, this is your first sectional graded assignments. All assignments are graded within that week. So after you turn this within the week of when it's due, so you're turning it in the 6th, even if you do it a little earlier, give me a week from the 6th, and you will have your grades. And then if there are any questions from feedback or the grade that you got on an assignment, you could always email me and let me know after that. All right, looking forward to seeing this work. See you next week.